I am joined now by Iain Stirling. Hello.
Hello, Graham. Thanks for having me on this momentous day.
I know. We planned it. They said, who do you want on your last Saturday? I said, Iain Stirling or no one.
It's Iain Stirling or no one. Well, the good news is those were your options. So
we got Iain Stirling. So off on tour. I keep saying it's your biggest UK tour. Is this your biggest UK tour?
Yes. I mean, but you've sort of legally got to say that every year, really, don't you? But
okay.
it is genuinely my biggest tour. Some of the rooms are the rooms I'm doing this year are bigger than the ones I did the year before.
That's good.
So it's not the longest though.
Yes.
It's short.
But more people will see you.
More people will see me in a shorter time because I think once you get to a certain sort of level, you can go to sort of the big towns and people come to you. Whereas before, I used to go to
the small towns.
I mean, no offence to Kingsland, but I'm never going back there. Come to Birmingham
and see you there. So it kicks off. Where does it kick off? In
Northampton.
Northampton. Still going down Northampton, and then the triumphant homecoming.
Oh yes, this is the exciting bit.
Yeah,
I'm doing Edinburgh. I've just announced it as well, which is quite nice.
At the Festival Theatre.
Yeah, the big one.
That is posh.
Yeah, I mean, like that could be very embarrassing. That's one of those rooms that could be very embarrassing.
And also, it's like because it's it is a home crowd. Well, we know you.
Yeah, I think the last time I done Edinburgh, I was heckled by a woman who said you came to a house party at mine at Christmas. I think I was in her kitchen at like 1 a.m, drinking like amaretto out of a mug. And I was like, yeah, that is true, actually. So that's the sort of heckles. You weren't funny at school, that sort of thing.
Yeah. But you were funny in university because you entered. Was it best student comic or something?
The Student Comedian of the Year competition. It still runs. It's like a sort of all the who's who. I was defeated by a sort of relatively unknown comedian called Joe Lycett. He came first. I came second. Do you know what though? Joe's so amazing. It's like clearly those things have got some sort of ability. And Tom Rosenthal from Friday Night Dinner was in my.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it's a big deal, that student competition.
And being so, were you at college in Edinburgh?
Went to college at University of Edinburgh. Then I went to Norway for a year. It's like a gap year. Well, not a gap year. I studied there. I went there to study. Sorry.
Okay.
The opposite of a gap year.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean,
it was a
big
gap year.
Yeah. And that's when I started writing stand-up because there's nothing else to do.
Oh, but I wondered, like, being young in Edinburgh, were you like, did you go to the Fringe? Did you kind of see lots of comics and kind of think, oh, I could do that?
Yeah, it was like so fortunate having that on my front door. Like I went to see like a Flight of the Conchords when they were in the Pleasance attic. If you know that, I don't know how familiar you are with Edinburgh, but it's like a 45-seater room. Saw them and seeing like Daniel Kitson when he was starting out and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I've had a lovely time.
Yeah.
David O'Doherty was on once, and his venue, a drunk man fell through the fire exit while he was on stage, and he serenaded the unconscious drunk man. That was in like 90 something.
And you thought, one day I want to do that.
I think that is the thing about being a comedian, is that you do look at moments like that and most people go, well, that's a horrible threat to my safety, and as a comedian you go, what a gift.
That filled 20 minutes.
Exactly. I didn't have to write all those material so pesky.
And when it comes to, you talk about writing in Norway, when it comes to doing a tour like this, like, how do you try it out? Do you do those little gigs?
Yeah, I'm trying to do little clubs and stuff now. I again, it's sort of fortunate that I can run it out in like little clubs and put it on my website or whatever, and my mailing list, and people come along. But then I do find it doesn't have to be as like there's something about doing it in comedy clubs for people that aren't expecting you or don't know who you are. You get that little extra edge that it doesn't have when you've sort of been a bit more self-indulgent when you're around your people.
Well, I was going to say, if people are on your mailing list, they love you, so they'll just be delighted. He's talking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not funny, but we're just glad to be here. So yeah, I'm trying to get into the clubs now. Go to like, do you know what I mean? If you can entertain a stag do in Hull on a Friday, it's funny. That's what I want to get to.
Do really?
Yeah. I like being there and knowing that I can then go back to the Festival Theatre afterwards.
Yeah. I remember when I used to do like jonglers and things.
Oh my God.
We
could talk about jonglers all day.
Oh, I know. And they used to say, oh no, there's no stag do's, there's no hen do's. And like, that woman's wearing a veil. and an L plate. I'm pretty sure that is a hen do.
I've literally, I was the first time I hosted the Jungles a bit. We've because you're new, we've not allowed any stags or hens in the front row, and the entire front row were painted blue as Smurfs. Well, we don't know what they are, but could you switch them with a stag do? Because this is mad.
Yeah, it was trial by
Carnage.
fire. Yeah.
For those who don't know, Jungles was basically a nightclub where they made comedians get in the way of the people having a party for 3 hours.
We were a thorn in those people's sides.
Yes. But you're going to have some dancing girls. But first of all, an unknown Graham Norton. And you go, hey.
Hey. Oh, and back in my day, you could smoke inside. It was you could have sliced the cigarettes.
You couldn't smoke when I was there, but it's still the atmosphere in there still felt like you could.
you could smell the smoke from my days.
You could smell. They hadn't cleaned the venue since 1999. Just fake tan and smoke billowing.
If you want to see Iain Stirling on tour, you go to your website. Iain, I shouldn't have to point this out, but
No.
I do. There's 2 I's in it.
Please do it. I-A-I-N. The amount of people that go, what? I-I-A-N?
Iain.
Which is actually how a lot of Irish people say my name. Iain.
Iain. Well, Iain. Do people say Iain?
Iain. I get Iain a lot.
Iain. Anyway, it's IainDoesJokes.com. I-A-I-N. Doesjokes.com. And you can find all the dates there. It's kicking off the first... No. Oh, no, these are the extra dates.
The extra dates.
Yeah.
I think it's March sometime, starts in Northampton. They can
20th of March.
They can Google it, Graham.
They can.
You're nearly done, mate. You play a song and
Yeah,
chill
I'm
out.
exhausted. I've talked enough. We're just doing some financial planning for Dua Lipa.
Dua, you're young now, but you need to think ahead, okay?
Rental properties. We're really keen that you get some rental properties.
We're discussing places. Ireland's quite good to rent these days.
It's very, very hot, very hot. When you when people go to see you on tour, which you will be, Relevant is your new tour. Iain Does Jokes. There's many eyes. .com.
So many eyes.
Get dates and tickets. Do people want you to talk about Love Island? Do you feel a pressure to talk about Love Island?
Yeah, I mean, I don't talk about it massively. I will do an unnecessarily long offstage announcement.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
Because it is that sort of thing of I am fully aware that my face is more recognisable than my own head, which is sort of a bizarre place to find yourself. But and if anyone, I might do some questions at the end or something.
Oh yeah, that'll fill some
Let
time.
them know. But it's all the same stuff. Are they actually in love? What do they eat? That's what people want to know.
And because you've been doing that job since it started, right?
Since the start of time.
So you made that job, if you know what I mean, or did they say to you, we want you to be more than just a voice?
No, they wanted me to sort of just be a voice, and then when I first originally started writing the voiceover, it was I didn't know of reality TV, and I didn't have the respect I now have for it. I have a massive respect for Love Island.
Yeah,
and
11 series in, you would.
Well, I'm still 15 years left on the mortgage, and no, I do genuinely really love like the skill that's involved in putting an hour-long show together like that is amazing. But I didn't at the time, and so I was sort of doing all this dismissive stuff, and the bosses were sort of going, "You can't say bad things." Also, it's hard to say bad things about the show at the beginning because it wasn't seen as good.
Yeah.
You can only slag something off. It's only funny if it's good.
Yes.
I've always said.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
Like there'll be weeks that you can there's weeks on your like the radio show or TV show you can go, oh, the lineup's awful this week and it's funny because Tom Hanks is sat next to you.
Yeah.
And there's other weeks you've got to go, it's a fantastic lineup on this show.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so lucky to have you.
So there's like that's basically what Love Island is. Because it's good, they got a bit more confident, and then by the end I was sort of going, and if you don't want to watch this, Traffic Cops is on Channel 5 right now. And I don't think any voiceover had really done that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
hopefully it resonated with people and was fun.
Yeah, and you do the American one.
American now as well, yeah.
I mean, how, great.
I know.
Really good. Was there some weird thing in your contract?
No, they sort of asked, and ITV were like really lovely about it, and we're obviously like, we can't stand in the way of this. There's a bit of crossover, like as in there's a few weeks where I literally do like Love Island in the day and then the American one at night, and get like 4 hours sleep in between.
And where are you just here?
I've got I say a studio at my house, which is a laptop with a microphone plugged into it in a spare bedroom.
See, that sounds great.
It's so nice.
That sounds lovely.
That's what you should have got. None of this radio nonsense. You should have got into that.
But also, are you in that room all the time? Because you've got, is it 2 podcasts?
Yeah, me and my wife have done 2. We've got one. We do true crime podcasts because that's our vibes, really.
Yeah, of course.
And so we had one called we've got the new one's Murder They Wrote. We had one called Partners in Crime that was on Spotify, and then we moved away from Spotify to the BBC. Have you heard of them? They're lovely.
I'm playing a record to talk to you about this.
So yeah, we went to the BBC, and the new podcast called Murder They Wrote, and it's me and my wife Laura. We each week investigate a true crime, and we tell each other alternative weeks.
Okay.
Although there was one week where I'd done one, I'd load of French words, and the BBC said Laura can do that one because we can't stand you trying to read this. That genuinely happened. I got it 5 minutes in, and someone from the BBC went, "Yeah, can we? We can't. The accent's offensive. Laura's taking over." That genuinely happened a few weeks ago.
That's sort of offensive in itself.
Yeah. I know, but hey, I'm very grateful for all ever. But yeah, Murder They Wrote, fantastic podcast on the BBC from me and Laura.
Okay.
Fun.
Good.
I just done the plug myself by mistake. I apologise for that.
No. Do it.
I'm starting your holiday early.
But hang on. But that one, do you have to leave your house to do that?
No, I do that in there as well.
Oh, that's all right then. Phew.
I don't do it. I actually do everything in that room now. Which I made that sound more. I didn't mean
that sounded awful. Yeah.
I'm really sorry. Not everything.
It's an enormous house. He does other things in other rooms.
It smells funny, but it's massive.
That room. Don't go in there.
No. That's my private place.
Well, Iain will be leaving. Iain will be leaving his house and taking to the road. His tour kicks off on the 20th of March in Northampton, and then his triumphant return to Edinburgh on the 31st of May. All dates and information can be found at iaindoesjokes.com. Iain Stirling, what a pleasure to see you.
Thank you for having me, and congratulations on everything. You're an inspiration to me.
Yeah, right. Okay.